it's gone viral everywhere. And the reason I'm kind of responding to this video is it is such a clear testament, more than anything really, of the failure of our press, of our fourth estate, that we've got to a place where Tucker Carlson is saying the very, very basic things. This isn't him being a genius investigative journalist. This isn't him spending years in preparation for this conversation. This is him asking the questions that should have been asked 2.5 years ago. It's also really interesting watching how Zani, who is a seasoned journalist, falls apart when he probes her and catches her leading questions and throws them back to her. Tucker Carlson, it's amazing because, she says clearly, you and I agree, we've both been critical of the Israeli government. And he's like, well, I've been critical of the Israeli government. And she says, I have plenty of times. And of course, when he asks her, what do you think about Gaza? She immediately centers Israel, even though at least 70,000 human beings have been annihilated in Gaza. And it was interesting to watch this unfold because, of course, many of us that are based in the UK have watched, I won't even bring up the private-ish companies, but I will bring up our state broadcaster because our taxes pay for it. And when you've watched headline after headline reducing the humanity of children to nothing, when you've seen every statement prefaced with Israel would say, and during the war with Russia and Ukraine, I've never heard a single BBC journalist say Russia would say. It does make you think how much all of this violence, because when it comes down to it, it is little girls crushed under buildings. When it comes down to it, it is an acronym unique to Gaza, WCNSF, Wounded Child No Surviving Family. When it comes down to it, it's the testimony of so many Palestinian journalists and the murder of so many Palestinian journalists and Western journalists doctors who have had to become journalists because they have been the one to bear witness that are even taken remotely seriously by the Western media. So when Tucker Carlson probes and does the basic thing that anyone that works in this field should, I think, yes, confirmation bias is a powerful thing. We can say, yes, well done, Tucker, but me as a black man, he is not someone that I am a fan of. And there are bits of the Tucker that we all know when he talks about Western democracy and civilization, something that a lot of people would have missed in the interview. But I think we need to ask, instead of saying, oh, wow, how satisfying it is to watch, I think the bigger question is, how big is a ledger of absolute critical failure by the Western media that it has got to a point when Candice Owens and Tucker Carlson are sounding like the adults in the room? That's one hell of a failure. And yes, it's good that editors-in-chiefs of the Economist are falling apart when just lightly probed about Israel. I mean, it's, an Israeli newspaper, Haaretz, has done more serious, grown-up, hardline journalism than any media business in America and the United Kingdom. And if you think I'm wrong, just ask some AI to draw up 50 of the headlines in the last 2.5 years by Haaretz, which is based in Israel, run by Israelis, predominantly Jewish staff, and how they have documented this annihilation, wholesale annihilation of the Palestinians in Gaza, compared to MSNBC, CNN, Sky News, Channel 4, and of course the BBC. We need to be honest about what the press has done. And yes, it is good that this is coming out, and it's amazing this is the Economist recording it and not realizing how much of a train wreck it has been for its editor-in-chief. But I think we need to always remind ourselves quite how, and I think it's a criminal failure at this point, our fourth estate, our press had been, where, and I will repeat myself, no one, and I won't name names, but think of every serious journalist in the UK and America that has prided itself. That's my dog. Hold on. That has prided itself on impartiality and has failed woefully when it's come to Palestine. You know, there's that term progressive, except for Palestine. I never thought I would see whole news organizations fall apart when it comes. And I don't want a pro-Palestinian point of view. I just want a pro-truth point of view. If a school is bombed by Israeli missiles, then report it so. If sniper fire is targeting boys' testicles, then report it so. If insulin is not allowed, then report it so. If babies are rotting in incubators, then report it so. Who is running Kogat? How does Kogat have dominion over a whole people? What does occupation mean? As a black man, I grew up seeing apartheid, the apartheid of people that look like me as a young boy. And that's something that is just tattooed into my consciousness. So outside of Gaza, when I see a people that have different number plates to drive down different roads, that go to different schools, have different health systems, that get checkpoint after checkpoint just to move, I don't debate what that is. And no one, again, in the mainstream media even uses that term, settler colonial entity and apartheid. So we have a long way to go. And yes, there are people like Tucker Carlson that are saying the very basic things, but it is a testament of the failure of our press. And as you can hear, I've got to be a daddy now, but I had to just jump on and say these things because we're also traumatized that sometimes we can end up going down a merry path that is not exactly where we should be heading. So stay clear on moral clarity. Truth is truth, and sometimes things aren't left or right. Things aren't conservative or progressive. Things are just the truth. And keep humanity in the room. Cheers.